Hello everyone, welcome to Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services. It's a video on daily news and editorial analysis, which I'll be covering from the Hindu and Indian Express. The most important news and editorial of the day will be discussed in this session. Let's get started with news topic list. Today is 23rd of April. The first news is Center launches scheme for the defense startup. We'll see the detail about this. Second, India UK to boost bilateral ties. Prime Minister of United Kingdom is on a visit to India, so some of the agreement and MOUs has already been signed. Third, Finance Minister investment pitch for the US industries. Second last, that is ISRO to conduct RLV landing experiment soon. We'll see the detail about this technology. And the last is an editorial fishing for workable solution in the Palk Bay. So this is with regards to India and Sri Lanka bilateral relationship. Apart from this, at the end of this video, there will be MCQ based question. These questions will be based on current affairs that will help you for the upcoming prelims examination. So without any further delay, let's get started. And before that, those of you who are new to our channel, do not forget to subscribe Apti Plus Academy for Civil Services on YouTube. If you like this video, if you find this video informative and helpful, do not forget to press a like button. And we are organizing open mock test. Every Sunday there's a mock test which you can appear for, right? So this is something which would be helping you in a longer run to get a quality test. You can enroll. मैंने वीडियो के डिस्क्रिप्शन में लिंक दिए, आप ज़्यादा जानकारी वहाँ से ले सकते हैं. Now, Center launches scheme for defense startup. This is important for General Studies paper 2, that is government policies and intervention for the development of various sectors and issues arising from it, design and implementations. So what Center government has come up with, specifically with regards to the Ministry of Defense. So Ministry of Defense has recently launched Innovation for Defense Excellence, which is also known as iDEX Prime, and 6th Defense India Startup Challenge. This was recently to encourage the defense startup in our country, and a meeting was held which was known as DefConnect. This was a summit that was held, DefConnect 2.0, which means Defense Connect. And this is something which is being organized by the Department of Defense Productions under the Ministry of Defense. So this is going to accelerate the level of startup that is operating in the defense sector in our country. Now, iDEX Prime kya hai? This might be again important for prelims examination. According to the Ministry of Defense, iDEX stand for Innovation for Defense Excellence Prime. It support projects requiring support beyond 1.5 crore rupees up to 10 crore rupees, right? And it will definitely call for ever-growing startup in this sector, specifically for the defense and manufacturing. So this iDEX will provide an opportunity for science and technology professionals to understand the futuristic technology, चाहे वो augmented reality हो, even artificial intelligence हो, even the blockchains and space technology. These are newest state-of-art technology would be incorporated in the defense productions and specifically in many other defense entities. Now, iDEX scheme since its inception in 2018 has now gathered a momentum, and around 25 to 40 successful prototyping has already been developed. This startup or MSME is working, and this is expected that in case of procurement by 2022, it is going to increase, and even down the line 5 years we'll have more entities coming into this startup, and the government aim to accelerate the overall manufacturing in India, and even the Atmanirbhar initiative and some schemes which relates to the PLI, that is production linked incentive scheme, will definitely help this sector. Now, DISC 6 kya hai? This is something with regards to 38 problem statement that was launched with regards to the artificial intelligence, advanced imaging, sensor type, and among others. So this benefit would be availed by all three services in India, which include Army, Navy, and Air Force, and some of the defense public sector undertaking which has participated in earlier edition was actually formed in the 7 defense companies, which include Indian Coast Guard organization under the Ministry of Home Affairs for the first time. So apart from defense, some of the paramilitary forces would also be availing the benefits, which is kind of artificial intelligence, advanced imaging, sensor systeming, and among others. Now, Defense Connect, which is a meeting, this is 2.2. Earlier, the first was also held. So this is a symbolic and symbol for increasing the technology harness of our country, which call for continuing growth in India's defense startup ecosystem, right? So this is to harness the startup and boost the production capacity, the level of advancement that we can incorporate in the defense productions. Now, DefConnect की अगर बात करें, it will provide a unique opportunity for the defense innovators, जहाँ पे iDEX और IDO जो है वो दोनों शोकेस करेंगे अपने अपने कैपेबिलिटीज को, जो स्टेट ऑफ आर्ट टेक्नोलॉजी है उनको, एंड इवन द टारगेट ऑडियंस फॉर द इंडस्ट्रीज एंड लीडर would be the part of the growth and progress that India is going to make in the defense industries or manufacturing. Now, the other news, India UK to boost bilateral relationship. This is something important for General Studies paper 2. Bilateral regional grouping and agreement evolving India's and affecting India's interest. So, UK Prime Minister in a visit to India, and his recent visit called for an expanded partnership between India and UK. And India and United Kingdom have agreed to significantly boost their ties in some of the important segments or areas which include trade, defense, and other matters. Now, क्या फोकस एरिया हैं दोनों कंट्रीज के बीच में जो अभी रिसेंट प्राइम मिनिस्टर की विजिट हुई है, उसमें किन किन बातों पे प्रायोरिटी रखनी है? सो द की एरिया वुड बी FTA, दैट इज द फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट बिटवीन इंडिया एंड UK. आई हैव ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू दैट इंडिया हैज ऑलरेडी aligned with many other countries in terms of the free trade agreement. Now, the other issues related to the job and trade, which will be the part of the focus area: cyber security, artificial intelligence, and space, creating an Indian specific open general export license, lower delivery times for the defense procurement, and cooperations on energy sector, especially on the green hydrogen. So these are some of the priority and focus area between two countries, that is India and UK, to come up and strengthen their bilateral relationship. Now, defense and security की अगर बात करें, so Britain has said that they would be coming up with the new agreement which is called New and Expanded Defense and Security Partnership. If you're writing in mains paper with regards to India and UK bilateral relationship, you have to mention this point as well, right? So the two countries have shared interest in keeping Indo-Pacific open and free, which India has been vocal about in many other multilateral forums as well. And India too has welcomed the Indo-Pacific initiative under the Maritime Security Pillars that agrees to cooperate between these two countries. And even the prime motive is to call for open, free, and secure Indo-Pacific. जहाँ पे अगर Quad की बात की जाए, Quad grouping has also the same notion that would be coming with a open, free, and secure. And even for many other multilateral forum, even US is vocal about the basically the transparency, open, free, and secure trade that can take place between the Indo-Pacific region. Now, open general export license. So UK is coming up with the open general license for India, reducing the bureaucracy and slashing the delivery times for the defense procurement. So this is again a level of advancement that would be there. And basically this can again be important for your prelims examination. So UK will issue an open general export license to support great defense and security collaboration in the DK. And this is the first that British is coming up, that the Britain country or UK is coming up with open general export license for the Indo-Pacific region. Again, something very important. Now, the other news, Finance Minister investment pitch for US industries, relevant for General Studies paper 3, Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization, resource growth and development. So, Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman was on a visit to US, and she has recently held meeting with the CEO and CEO of major American companies with their investment plan and the opportunities that India can provide, and basically in terms of FDI or establishing their companies. So in series of meeting that was held with the finance minister, she met with the CEO of FedEx, which is the largest logistic company in the world, Accenture, a big IT company, a big firm which is operating across the globe, and with a MasterCard, which is a significant part of the US economy. So the government of India has decided to commit a digital financial inclusion. They said that we are committed that how financial inclusion can be incorporated in India, and even some of the major scheme that the government of India is already running with, that is Jan Dhan Yojana, और भी ऐसे बहुत सारे स्कीम्स है गवर्नमेंट की जो फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन को प्रमोट करती है. सो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया representing all its parts in the financial inclusion has asked the US companies to come and invest in India. Now FATF की मिनिस्ट्रियल मीटिंग भी हुई है. बेसिकली इस पे एड्रेस करते हुए जो इंडिया के रिप्रेजेंटेशन की तरफ से फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर ने ये कहा दैट आर पॉलिटिकल कमिटमेंट टू फाइट मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग, टेरर फाइनेंसिंग एंड proliferating financing is something very important. And FT as an organization which is taking care of entire this thing. We'll be discussing FT also. मैं आपको बताऊंगा FTA क्या है. और रिसेंट में आपको ग्रे लिस्ट के बारे में भी जानना ज़रूरी है, जहाँ पे FTA ग्रे लिस्ट के साथ आती है. एंड इसमें पाकिस्तान को भी ग्रे लिस्ट के अंदर रखा है. जो ऐसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग और टेरर फाइनेंसिंग करती है उसको ग्रे लिस्ट के अंदर रखा जाता है. What is FATF? So, Financial Action Task Force is a global money laundering terrorist financial watchdog. It lays down international standard with an objective to prevent such activities, and it keeps updating the standard for emerging monitoring risk. Even ये recommend करती है कि किस तरह से effectively countries अपने पूरे account को hold कर सकती है to comply with the international norms and standards. The Financial Action Task Force was established in 1989 by the group of seven, that is between the G7 summit, which held in the Paris. Now, the news that is ISRO to launch RLV landing experiment soon. This is important for General Studies paper 3, that is achievement of India in science and technology, Indianization of technology, and development of new technology. So ISRO, that is Indian Space and Research Organization, is planning to carry out a landing experiment of a critical component of the reusable launch vehicle technology, जिसको RLV TDB कहते हैं. This is demonstration program, and UPSC has already asked a question related to this. So you can check out. This type of question is again very significant for your prelims examination. So RLV, that is reusable launch vehicle and demonstration technology program, comprises of series of experiment जहाँ पे ये एम की जाती है कि जो reusable है टू स्टेज ऑर्बिट को उसको यूज किया जाए. एंड इवन दिस कैन बी समथिंग which can be used for the coming vehicles that is operated, right? So RLV is a second series of experimental flight that is coming with this program, which is supposed to be held in April itself. Now, RLV-EX की बात करें, it evolved around an unmanned winged prototype to an altitude of almost 2.5 kilometer to 2.4 kilometer, 2.3 to 2.4, right, on an helicopter and releasing on the land. So the cheaper access to space will make RL more attractive, and the major hurdle in the space exploration is a prohibitive cost which is coming, and even it will slash the launch vehicle in the reusable one. So these are some of the advantages of the RLV LEX. Now, reusable launch vehicle technology होती क्या है, किस तरह से काम करती है? So reusable launch system, or also known as RLS, or reusable launch vehicle also known as RLV, is a system capable of launching a payload into space more than once. So the word itself suggests that it can be used more than once. And this technology was successfully tested by ISRO, validating the critical technology such as autonomous navigations, guidance and control, reusable thermal protection system, and re-entry into the mission management. And it has also demonstrated the hypersonic flight, re-entry to aero thermodynamics, autonomous mission management, and the structure for the thermal productions. So these are some of the advantages of the reusable launch vehicle technology. If asked in the examination, specifically in the prelims examination, you will easily able to answer that. Now, talking about India's part, the first attempt which was successful, the first RLV-TD was launched from Sriharikota on March 23 last year and slashed down by the Bay of Bengal at the height of 64.8 km. And ISRO plans to launch reusable technology before attempting to build a fully fledged vehicle that can be used for the launching satellites. And even 1.5 ton of the weight of the first RLV or TD was actually used by the ISRO. Now, moving to the editorial of the day, that is fishing for workable solution in the Gulf Bay. This is important for General Studies paper 2, that is India and its neighborhood relations. And this editorial will give you an insight. What I'm going to discuss about this editorial, I'll be simplifying this editorial for 5 important subheads, that is issues of trawling, international maritime boundary line, fishery level talks between India and Sri Lanka, deep sea fishing or way forward. तो पूरे editorial की जो theme है, that talks about the issue of fishing between India and Sri Lanka. तो बात करें जो रिसेंट में जॉइंट वर्किंग ग्रुप की मीटिंग हुई है, दिस मीटिंग हैज़ हेल्ड आफ्टर अ मंथ स्पैन ऑफ 15 मंथ्स, गैप ऑफ 15 मंथ्स के बाद ये मीटिंग हुई है. much awaited meeting थी, which has come up via virtual mode, and this meeting has definitely called up to take the issues of fisheries that is taking place between India and Sri Lanka. बहुत सारे ऐसे conditions आए हैं जहाँ पे situation worst भी हुई है. So this meeting has occurred in the Palk Bay region that encompasses India's Tamil Nadu. Specifically, if you're down the line, if you see the map, you'll get the idea. Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka in the northern province. ये जो इंस्टेंसेस हैं अभी रिसेंट में हमने देखा था जिस तरह से 5 फिशरमैन तमिलनाडु के और 2 फिशरमैन श्रीलंका के डाइड हुए बिकॉज ऑफ देयर मिड सी क्लैशेस. व्हाई द क्लैशेस हैज हैपेंड, we'll discuss that also. So issues of trawling was a big issue beyond that clash. Trawling का मतलब होता है, आपने अगर फिशरी देखा है, that you must be aware that the big net that is being used in the deep sea or even at the mid of the sea, that is called trawling. So it's a huge net which is being used, right? So apart from poaching and territorial water, Sri Lanka used the mechanized bottom trawling in another way, and it has become a bone of contention. यही एक ऐसी issue है जिसकी वजह से tension हुई है between the fishermen of two countries, that is India and Sri Lanka. So the method of fishing, which was one prompted by both authorities, now seeing extremely adverse to the marine ecology as well. Now, international maritime boundary line की अगर बात करें, this is again important for prelims examination. So the fishermen of Tamil Nadu has experienced the problem of lacking the fishermen consent for the democratization of IMBL, we'll call it IMBL, that is International Maritime Boundary Line, in 1974. तो अगर इंडिया में देखें, जो इंडिया की तमिलनाडु के रीजन में धनुषकोडी है, दिस इज इन द रामेश्वरम डिस्ट्रिक्ट, इट्स अ ब्यूटीफुल प्लेस. सो इट हैज सेड दैट IMLB जो यहाँ पे है वो 9 nautical miles है, एंड इवन द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन द देवीपट्टम विच इज देयर इन श्रीलंका इज 34 nautical miles. Now under the Tamil Nadu Marine Fishery Regulation Act 1983, mechanized boat can fish only beyond 3 nautical miles from the coast. So this is the dispute that is arising, and even a clarity is essentially required, and even to allow the fishers to go into some extended level. So this explains the trend of fishermen having crossed the IMBL frequently. तो इतने कम डिस्टेंस में ये जो इंटरनेशनल मैरीटाइम बाउंड्री लाइन है उसको क्रॉस करना लाजमी है, and even it frequently used to happen, right? Now fisheries level talk की अगर बात करें, the present situation is very stressful between India and Sri Lanka in terms of the economic crisis, and even if you see the current situation in Sri Lanka is not good. Although we have a good relationship with Sri Lanka, लाइन ऑफ क्रेडिट भी इंडिया ने दी है श्रीलंका को, बट अभी वहाँ पे जिस तरह से इकोनॉमिक क्राइसिस है, ये इंडिया के लिए एक अपॉर्चुनिटी हो सकती है टू नेगोशिएट ऑन दिस पार्ट एज वेल, राइट? बिकॉज इंडियन गवर्नमेंट हैज़ अ 2-month बैन ऑन द फिशरिंग एज वेल, 15th of April तक ये बैंड है, एंड अप टू श्रीलंका वुड ऑल्सो इंश्योर टू टेक अ पेस ऑफ इंडियन साइड इन रिज्यूमिंग द feast level talk that will help fisheries from Tamil Nadu and even to the Sri Lankan people as well. While the Indian fisheries can present a roadmap for the transition, and even it can have an alternative to the Sri Lankan side taking a pragmatic view in the transition that cannot happen abruptly. Now, deep sea fishing की अगर बात करें, in order to boost the deep sea fishing ties, India will have to modify its scheme, and even it has to come up with an accommodative policy which is helping. तो अगर बात करें रमांथापुरम की, वो की तमिलनाडु में, यहाँ पे हमें देखना है कि किस तरह से डीप सी फिशिंग के लिए रिजर्वेशन ज़रूरत है, और साथ के साथ जो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट है दैट हैज़ टू इम्प्लीमेंट ऑल्सो. अगर तमिलनाडु स्पेसिफिक की बात करें, जो प्रधानमंत्री मत्स्य संपदा योजना है उसको प्रोएक्टिवली इम्प्लीमेंट करने की ज़रूरत है ताकि तमिलनाडु के सारे सिटीजन्स को वहाँ पे इसका बेनिफिट मिले. Now the scheme will flag off 2 years ago actually, and cover alternative livelihood measures which include seaweed cultivation, open sea cage cultivations, and sea open ranging. So if it is being asked in examination about Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana, you can answer that, and even you can read more detail about the Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana. Now, how the way forward can be concluded for this editorial. So first and foremost, you have to write that the pragmatic approach is essentially required. और ये एक ऐसी ऑप्शंस होंगी जो कि दोनों कंट्रीज़ के बीच में एक रिजोल्यूशंस लाएंगी, एंड एट द सेम टाइम श्रीलंका कैन टेक द लीनियंट व्यू ऑफ द सिचुएशन एंड रिफ्रेम फ्रॉम एनी सच एक्टिविटीज़ और टेकिंग अ हार्श एक्शन बिटवीन इंडियाज फिशरमैन ऑल्सो, एंड डिले विल ओनली इंक्रीज द बेटरनेस बिटवीन टू कंट्रीज़. यहाँ पे ज़रूरी है जिस तरह से इकोनॉमिक सिचुएशन वर्स्ट हो रही है उसको यूटिलाइज किया जा सके, और इंडिया शुड ऑल्सो जनरेट एन एम्पैथी फॉर श्रीलंका And for Sri Lanka, it is equally important to come into the table to discuss the entire issues. And the number of options available in the Perk Bay is not only free of troubles, but also a call for a collaborative endeavors in the fishing, which will help a lot more people associated with fishing. Their livelihood, their family, their entire economy is dependent on fishing. So a proactive role has to come from both countries. This is what you can conclude if you're writing this question in mains paper. Now moving ahead with the MCQ questions of the day. Before I proceed, just to tell you the answer of yesterday questions. For first question, the correct option was C. For second question also, the correct option was B. Today's MCQ, new umbrella entities for retail. Only those retail that has owned and controlled Indian citizenship can least have a 3-year experience, can come up with the promoters of NUEs, and no foreign investment is allowed in the existing guideline. So what you have to do, you have to seek for the correct answer. Second question of the day, electoral bond, which is again a lot where they're in the news. All nationalized banks are authorized to issue in cash bond with 15 days of the date of issuance, and the bonds are redeemable in the designated bank of the registered political parties. So which among the following is the correct answer? You have to check, because electoral bond is again was there in the news lot many times. So it can be a possible question for the upcoming prelims examination. So this was all about for the daily news and editorial analysis, followed by the MCQ questions. If you have any other concern, you can let me know. I'll be more than happy to assist you. For time being, I'm signing off. Thank you so much for watching this video.